She opened a new farm.
Today, for the second of her reports, Cordelia Lynch has been hearing from the orphans who are benefiting from the project.
You eat them as greens, so you get vitamins. Then when they are...
A lesson in working the land. These Ugandan orphans are learning to grow and sell their own crops. But 6 months ago, life was very different. Some were living rough and most were struggling to feed even themselves. Now they're the new recruits to Uganda's first farming apprenticeship scheme for orphans, which all started in the West Country, the brainchild of North Devon charity Amigos. Helen is one of the girls they're hoping to help. Before she came to Kira Farm, she was threatened by a relative who wanted to sacrifice her, a gruesome and growing trend in the country.
They would make Helen sit down and burn some smoke, and it enters Helen, and sometimes she gets lost and she doesn't know where she is. She's like crazy. So I think Amigos really helped Helen to get out of that thing and at least to have a future with time, and she can do something. I think when she goes back home, she can really do something for herself. Yeah.
4 hours away in the village of Masindi, Helen's disabled father is living a very different existence. When she decided to pay him a surprise visit, I joined her to find out what life was like before Kira. Well, this is where Helen used to live alongside her brother and father, but her life here was starkly different to Kira Farm. They could afford only one meal a day, and that was dependent on whether her father could sell enough paraffin lamps at the local market. She may not be struggling to find food anymore, but Helen can only stay at Kira for a year, and when she does eventually return, the pressure to provide here will be greater than ever. And when we were filming, that responsibility came home to her with crashing force as she was told her mother had died. It's a lot for any child to take, but the first thing Helen spoke about was her duty to the family.
I'm going to make my money, and I will look after my sisters and my father.
Like Helen, Harriet too has felt the pain of losing a parent.
My mother died when I was too young. I don't know even the photo.
And life's been very hard since. Harriet is also pregnant, but whilst the pain of the past is clear, she is hopeful that her new skills will lead to a brighter future.
My being here, it has helped my life. I have confidence in my life. And some of the things when I was at home, I don't know how to do it. So like here, I know.
And that is exactly what Amigos are aiming for in this project, the development of life skills. Rather than build a traditional orphanage, they wanted to give the students a chance to earn money and grow independently of them. They're also doing something else differently, teaching the teenagers to farm using sustainable methods, a very new system to Uganda where most people slash and burn their crops after harvest. The idea is that they'll then pass on what they've learnt to their communities, but in those so young and vulnerable, it seems a tall order. Seeing those girls and realising they have a year to learn, but then have to return to their villages and lots of difficult situations there, it's a very big challenge for them.
It is a huge challenge. The first message they get when they come in is that you're returning. That's where perhaps we're a little bit different. The second is you can do it. With our support, with the people we have, and what we believe these young people can achieve, it's all about empowering them, encouraging them, loving them, and yeah, they will do it.
It's an inspiring message, but Kira Farm is just the beginning of a very long road for these students. The real work will begin when they leave. Cordelia Lynch in Uganda for the West Country Tonight.
And tomorrow, for her third and final report from Uganda, Cordelia will be finding out what makes the farming programme so unusual in the country and how important money from the West Country has been in helping to build it. That's Uganda, Seeds of Hope, tomorrow.
There's been a little influx of visitors to the region today.